By the way, sipping from a mug that we mailed out today. Danette, your mug is in the mail. If you want a mug, shoot us $40 on Venmo and we'll mail one out to you, but include your address. Otherwise, we'll just mail it to somebody. I was watching that clip where, was it Ron Swanson? And he walks out of his office. He goes, "Can somebody tell me the postage for Canada?" Aubrey Plaza, I think, is the actress or the secretary in the thing. And she's like, "Mail it to who in Canada?" "To Canada." "Well, what does it say?" "Dear Canada, fuck you." His mustache is like taking over his whole face. Where in Canada? To Canada. And by the way, prayers to the people in Canada, man. Be careful up there. I'm originally an Ohio kid, hence my love for Ohio sports and the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Yeah, by the way, if you want some coasters to go with your mugs, anybody out there, these are Ohio made. They're wooden. It's not cheap Chinese crap. We got to stop buying Chinese crap. Also, peep my T-shirt today. Peter Griffin is as the well, you know, as the commie guy. Look at that. Wooden, Ohio made. But yeah, I love Cleveland sports. I love Ohio sports. If you want some coasters, they're $30 for 4 of them. Listen to them clickety clack. Or if you want 2 sets, they're $50. Shipping included. And if you want a pin for the Unhappy Hour, it's $25. But yeah, I have family and friends up in Ohio, and my God, you can't go outside. You should see the views from the top of the coasters at Cedar Point in Sandusky. You know, most people don't think of Ohio as a border state. Ohio is a border state. You hop on a boat and you land in America, you crossed the border. You just broke into the country. But yeah, Ohio is a border state with Canada. And the smoke is intense. We've played you that video of that train up in Canada. They were completely engulfed in flames everywhere. It was like being inside of a furnace. Hell on earth. So please be careful, Canadians. And look, be careful down in San Antonio, Texas. I was just down there. Went in and tipped a, why is this not working? Let's try this a third time here. I got to get all my playback going to make sure we're streaming on the places we're supposed to. Tipped a piano player so that she would sing Country Roads. I'm not going to sing it. To the place I belong. Okay, I was singing a little bit. But yeah, went into some Irish pub on the San Antonio River Walk. Had a pint, had a blackened, what did I get? A blackened red? What do they call blacksmith, they call it. Jeez, they call it a blacksmith. Smithwick's and Guinness. I tipped the lady. I'm like, "How about Country Roads?" And her shift was ending, but she got that one in. But yeah, I was just down there on the San Antonio Riverwalk, and San Antonio is flooding. Just down in San Antonio because Izzy, you might have seen Izzy on I think it was season 3 of Strictly Football. Once again, my love for Ohio sports shows no bounds. Strictly Football season, I got to double check, season 4 coming up. I think this season had Izzy. Last season added Jim. Season 1 was myself and Mike Barra. Also, if you missed yes, I have a back scratcher on hand. Because I don't bend as far. I can only go so far, and I do get occasionally. It's like, oh, that's nice. Should I sell back scratchers, the New American Media back scratchers, so that we can scratch your back as well as the deep state scratches the Democrat Party, as the mainstream media scratches the Democrat Party's back. Something like that. During the post show yesterday, we covered the President Trump speech live with Mike, most of the cast of Toxically Masculine Tuesday, where they always flex for that. I'm a regular fill-in I'm like the utility infielder. I can play second base, third, first. I can play center field. I can just plug me in and play me. I can play. I can do the positions. But and Blake Wally. Blake's been on 2 shows this week. But yeah, San Antonio's flooding was the point I was saying. You got fires in the north, you got flooding in the south. I'm mixing like 9 stories together here. But yeah, speaking of merchandising, I said treason used to mean something. And Mike goes, that's a t-shirt. That's a hat. Treason used to mean something. That's a good phrase. I'm like, all right, I like it. And remember, all of you in chat, I've encouraged you to come up with your own catchphrases. Ortho has. Can somebody type what Ortho's text phrase is? What his catchphrase is? Unholy Hoax has a phrase. Unholy Hoax, tell us your catchphrase. They're going to type it right here in the comments. Make sure everybody hit the thumbs up button, by the way. Make sure that you're liking the program. And click the share button and text it to a couple of your smart friends or family and be like, hey, we gather. Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today, to hang out in this bar with Brian the bartender, tender. And we're going to talk about all the stories on the TVs, these. But yeah, that was another treason used to mean something. There it goes. There's Unholy Hoax. But yeah, I was just with Unholy Hoax at a table, smashing some tortilla chips, feeding the ducks, having a massive Texas-sized margarita with tahini on the side. And then all that stuff flooded and people are impacted and Canada's on fire. And it's not just the fire. Everything in the Northeast is smoked out. I mean, Ohio, I'm talking to people. It's like you can't go outside. It's like you're coughing. It doesn't even smell like trees, though. It smells chemically. Because guess what? When you burn a lot of things and you burn a lot of buildings, you release a lot of toxins. It's not good. So TNAM preparedness is super important. Please go on Facebook real quick. Go to the groups and search TNAM preparedness. Preparedness. Country of origin, America. But yes, thank you all for being here. Nobody knows the catchphrase for Ortho. Never leave your cave without your club. So we're all looking for catchphrases to put on merch. Danette, yours has been mailed. Keep your eyes peeled. It asked for a company name, so I added a company. You make sure the person that delivers the package understands that there's a company this is now addressed to. It says Danette right underneath the first line. I think it's pretty funny. You can tell us when you get it. But yes, if any of you want that, let me know. Let's launch the show, shall we? If you want to watch our live reaction to the President Trump speech revealing all of the things that are in the title today, check it out. For some reason, I couldn't connect my YouTube through Mike's Restream, so I streamed it live on Facebook, just shooting an image at my computer screen while I was on his show. I don't know, man. Lord help me, bring me a production team. Just put me in front of let's get the crew, pay a good crew, have a nice studio where everything just happens and I can focus on the content. But my Lord, I'm juggling chainsaws, apples, bowling pins. You know, they kind of spin like this. You got to keep taking bites. Well, that's a good point, Danette. All the polyester in our house is in plastic. Yeah. I scrolled past a post and it was like, whatever happened to moths eating our clothing? Remember all that? What was that about? Yeah, because our clothing used to be made of clothing. Now it's made of plastic. It's the shit we wrap ourselves in all day. Yeah, I'm really considering getting rid of most. Let me rephrase. Considering joining a nudist colony, folks. I'm considering getting rid of most of my clothing. I'm going to get rid of all my clothing. Like in the cartoons. My head thinks in cartoons, like the scenes just pop up. I think it was a Scooby-Doo for some reason, but it could have been anything. But yeah, I've really considered definitely making a drastic change to the t-shirts, to the boxers. Do boxers go with intelligence briefs? They're boxing at the White House. Barbara Boxer. Anyway, yeah, I saw Kenneth enter the chat. Hello, Kenneth. It's word association with Kenneth. And it's fun because you get to play tennis with all just, because that's how it is when you're writing a song, when you're figuring out a stand-up routine, when you're trying to write something, working on a script. It's like, it's word association and humor. It's just you keep throwing things up against the wall and see if anything pops out. Stream of consciousness. I remember writing 3 Pointing Back, and like I heard the song, I was like, that's it. I was literally using the facilities upstairs of our band house in college. And I was like, what is that song? Finished my business, ran and grabbed my notebook, ran downstairs. I go, that's it. Keep playing that. I got the lyrics for it. And it just happened. It was just sort of like it channeled. But yeah, natural fibers for sure. But they're not eating. Moths are not eating our fake clothing because it's not made of clothing anymore. What do you mean made of clothing? That's as ridiculous as saying you don't speak American. If you're new to the show, that's the voice that I use for the. I don't want to use the pejorative. The simple-minded folks that seem to have a lot to yap about. Yeah, I agree. They actually affect your testosterone. Your dad's doctor told him to go only cotton. Yeah, I concur. All right, everybody, let's get into everything here. Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of a wildfire or flood near you. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Friday, July 17th, 2026. And this right here, the thing that you are watching, it's called the TNAM Daily Show here on the New American Media. Of course, on today's program, we're going to discuss 278,000 illegals on the voter rolls. But I thought this never happens. But don't worry, they're going to say, oh, no, I fully support using a state-issued identification card for voting purposes. And you go, no! You verbally do this. You don't actually smack people like that Canadian living in America who smacked a teenager because she was wearing a pro-Trump, pro-ICE sweatpants and shirt or something like that, because you'll be deported and go to jail like you should. You don't just walk around assaulting people you don't like. That happened in a comment thread in one of our Facebook groups. Go to Facebook and find TNAM''S. And then you got to type the parentheses, the Agree to Disagree Show, parentheses. TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show. In the comment about voter fraud was like, oh, there's Trump doing it. And he's just one of our resident sock puppet accounts, trolls, if you will. Pretends to kind of like be one of us. He's like, oh, there's no evidence. He didn't present everything. And by the way, I do support voter ID, and we should have to show state-issued identification card. I go, I see what you're doing. I saw what you just did. What'd you see, Billy? What'd you see? He knows what I just saw. That was some Young Guns, Emilio Estevez. Democrats have given out tons of state-issued identification cards and driver's license to illegal aliens who are ineligible to vote. So no. Passport, birth certificate, real ID. And even real ID, I don't know if that even qualifies, because I think some illegal aliens have been getting real IDs, which make them unusable to prove your citizenship. That's not on the Republicans. That's not Trump's fault. That's not on MAGA. It's on the Democrats for muddying those waters. Well, I can't see to the bottom of the pool. I can't see the bottom of the river. Yeah, because you muddied it up intentionally. Actually, isn't that your dump truck spraying mud all over the place? You're racist for pointing that out. Okay. Dorks. And I think it was only 18 states that have revealed their voter roll information, and the rest have gone to the courts. Harmeet Dillon and team. I believe I have that understanding correctly. So most of the worst states, when you see a couple 100,000 illegal aliens voting, you go, so what? We're a country of hundreds of millions. Okay, when you can theoretically win, wink, wink, a state by pausing the vote just long enough to find the magical number where you're 0.3% above. Oh, we're such a close 51-49 nation. Oh, it was a razor thin margin. Bullshit. When 11,000 votes determines the winner of, throw your dart at a state. The swing states, Arizona, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia. Sure. No, we have to arrest Trump because he said find the votes. Yes, he said find the fraudulent votes and get rid of them. Michigan has admitted to voter fraud. That was revealed yesterday. So, by the way, the 300,000, 278,000 number, that's not the real number. That's the starting point. That's the beginning of the negotiation, not the end of it. Imagine how many millions with Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Houston, Maricopa County, Atlanta, Fulton County. Just imagine how many millions of fraudulent votes are in this system. And then, we believe in democracy. We mail out ballots to people that didn't request them, people that have died, people that have moved on, and people like Mickey Mouse that don't fucking exist. Yeah, we got a mess here. Well, Carolyn Levitt, welcome back from maternity leave, but my first question is going to be real stupid. Well, how, if there's voter fraud, how did President Trump win? Yeah, it was too big to rig, you asshole. Oh, but only won by a little bit in the electoral. No, it was a landslide with all of your fake shit baked into it. Allegedly. For countervailing views on anything regarding votes, 2020, mail-in ballots, voting machines, go to CISA.gov/rumor control for countervailing views, because they'll tell you 2020 was the most free and fair election of all time. And Joe Biden, who sniffed children, and Kamala Harris as vice president, the two least popular people in their Democratic primary that year, they totally were the most popular ticket in American history with 81 million totally legitimate views. So go to CISA.gov/rumor control for countervailing views. This is what social media has forced us to do. That is only unless I want to earn a living. Unless if I want to pay the staff, if I want to pay Cisco with the trucks in the back so that I can purchase the steaks that you're ordering here at lunch, so that I can get the burgers and the chicken breasts and the salads and the French fries and the fried okra. I'm getting hungry. If I want to keep the lights on in this bar, pay the cable bill so I can stream the TV services. So, if I want to grow the new American media, I have to say these things. Regarding anything, COVID, vaccine, 2020 election, George Floyd summer of love riots, Joe Biden totally legitimately winning the presidency, go to, what was the beginning of that? WHO.int, CDC.gov, and CISA.gov/rumor control for countervailing views. Yes, blink 3 times if you're saying this under distress. No shit. It's been a stranglehold on everything. Here's another revelation. The deep state knew about China hacking 2/3 of our voting population. What was it, 200 million? 200 plus million? Whatever the numbers and the percentages are, somebody do the math. Almost everybody in the country was hacked by China. What did they do? Pushing to get driver's license to illegals, pushing to create fake ballots to send to these people and have them intercepted and turned in so that when people showed up to vote, oh, I'm sorry, you've already voted. I didn't fucking vote. There are a million ways to cheat. And it doesn't have to just be Detroit, Michigan. It doesn't have to just be China. By the way, are you aware of the Venezuela connection? For what, roughly 20 years? They were rigging their votes on their voting machines and it was undetectable. But totally trust our voting machines, right? Guys, if it's not too big to rig, it gets rigged. And it never used to matter to the deep state whether you put up a Romney or a Obama, a McCain or a Obama, a Bush or a Gore, a Bush or a Kerry, a Clinton or a Bush. Who was the second one? Bush? Bob Dole. I'm Bob Dole. Got to carry around a pen. Hey, red on red. Yeah. You wonder, how are the commies getting power? How is Peter Griffin in his goofy little hat? My Che Guevara hat. Marxists. How are Marxists taking control? I don't think they are. I think they're cheating their way into it. And I think they have been for decades. We got a couple of goons still blocking the Save America Act. What can we do to ram it through? But in a nutshell, my analysis yesterday was pretty myopic, dystopian, deflated, disappointed, angry. I don't want another report. I don't want findings. I don't want an investigation. I don't want documents released. I don't want a website with graphics show it. I want indictments. Treason used to mean something. It meant the gallows or a firing squad. When you're literally stealing the country from the people who are voting in our democratic republic to turn it into Che Guevara, Barack Obama's beautiful utopia. That's called treason. Foreign actors, deep state alphabet agency actors, used to line them up against a wall, strap them to the chair, lead them to the gallows. Does treason used to mean something? This is not a random call for political violence. No, this is the ultimate penalty to protect our American republic. What have you given us, Mr. Franklin? A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it. Also, sweetie, what are you doing later? Franklin was a bit of a hound dog. So yesterday's speech, did it matter? Some things mattered. You had some major television companies decide to stay out of it, to block it. Oh, we're not going to air it. We're going to fact check it and tell you what we think you should know. Bail on CNN, ABC, NBC, the lying legacy media, Microsoft News, Microsoft Now, MSDNC, MSN, whatever you call that crap. NBC, MSNBC. You know, and someone needs to design an app. I know I'm talking about like freedom and information. But you know what? Metallica had a song off of the Kill 'Em All album, Fight Fire with Fire. The ending is near. Fight fire with fire. Fear. Bum, bum, ba, dum, bum, ba. Pretty sure it was off Kill 'Em All. My least favorite Metallica album prior to Saint Anger. But where's the app where we can disable CNN, MSNBC to like the boomers that think they're watching news and they're just getting stupider by the day? People with Trump derangement syndrome. I've heard these stories where you can like block channels and they're old and they don't know how to press the buttons. I can't believe you're advocating for that. You're just as bad as them. No, I'm not. No. I'm trying to prevent you from consuming poison. Because every rose has its thorn. Anyway, we're going to talk about the content of it. I sort of zoned out during the show with Mike, and I provided my commentary, and I gave you my instant reaction. I was just saying, if this is not Velcroed to indictments and arrests, it doesn't matter. If it's not stitched together, the fabric is woven with arrests and indictments. And Barack Hussein Obama was named as perhaps the lead in this treason. Great. Where's the indictment? Where was the 3 a.m. raid with CNN cameras there, huh? Where was it? If you're not going to do what needs to be done, Step aside. I said it to Amy Coney Barrett. Trump, what are you doing? DOJ, what are you doing? You've got all the cards in front of you. Indict them. The process is the penalty, they say. This isn't something made up to punish someone who has a different opinion than you. No, I do not advocate that. I follow a reselling channel, reselling group. I'm just going to leave the person nameless at this point. But they're reselling content. I like to watch. What did you find? What did you get it for? How much is it worth? How do you pack it? How do you ship it? It's very interesting because it's one of the things that I do to pay the mortgage so I can keep the lights on and keep delivering you content. One of several things. Doing these shows is my job. I don't do ad reads for pillows and coffee. I remind you that we're on. Oh, here, I'll tell you this now. Where'd it go? Hang on, I don't see my captions. Oh, I guess it's right here. Okay. Let's keep the lights on. Rumble, YouTube, Patreon. Consider becoming a subscriber. You can do so for as little as $5 a month. You can drop one-time Rumble rant tips or super chat tips into my tip jar back there. Just throw a couple silver coins at me. Rumble rant tip, super chat tip. Venmo and Cash App is my name, Brian Engelman, spelled at the bottom of the screen, and PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. Ta-da! This is my job. This is what I do. If the tip jar doesn't fill up, I can't keep doing it. I got to go spend my 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day schlubbing around doing something else. I believe in what I'm doing. I believe that this is going to grow, and it's your word of mouth and it's your support that keeps us going. So thank you to everybody who has supported us in the past. Thank you to everybody who might support us today or tomorrow. And through word of mouth, bringing more people into this bar so the restaurant is full and we can, take care of business. Taking care of business. But I watch this reselling content, and they're just trying to work in Trump ramblings. And I'm going, I've got into these conversations and I'm calling them out. I'm like, this has nothing to do with reselling. What are you, a Trump tard? I mean, it might be the dumbest comment section I've seen in a long time. This side of 98% Democrats, or what's the? There's a few dopey groups that I follow, just kind of for kicks. See how dumb some of these people are. And in the comment thread, they're like, "Oh, he sounds like a Trump tard. It would be a shame if somebody bought something on his on their reselling site just to return it. Or better yet, to do a DNS, or they labeled something, I don't even know what it means, so that we could claim we never got it, and then they can get a strike on eBay and we can get them kicked off of eBay." It's like, you fucking assholes. I reported both of those posts for harassment and abuse. They're trying to ruin this guy's business. Bake us the damn cake. Bake us the cake or I'm going to ruin you. Agree with me on same-sex stuff and pushing this stuff on our children about gender confusion ideology, or I'm going to shoot you in the neck. Bro, nobody's saying you can't have your own opinions on life. Have your own opinions. You can't force your opinions on others. And if someone has a differing opinion than yours, you don't get to harm them, kill them. You don't get to destroy their business, you fucking assholes. Sorry. I got to remember occasionally conversations like I had with Unholy Hoax, who said, yeah, when your show's on, I put it up on the 80-inch screen TV. And my daughter's hanging out over here, and I'll be working on the computer here. So apologies if somebody's offspring hears me cussing. But I have to do the show that I'm going to do. I don't typically live in the realm of hyperbole, cussing, etc. But doggone it, we're given 128 crayons in that box for a reason. When it calls for using periwinkle blue, I dig into the back of the box and I use it. But yeah, this is what they do. They lie. They manufacture things. They try to destroy your life over a simple disagreement. We don't have to disagree. And I've said in that goofy reselling comment thread, I'm like, dude, I don't even care that you have backward, misinformed TDS opinions. Have them. That's fine. But you should have a designated place to dump your trash. You flush the toilet when you're done crapping in it. You're walking around crapping all over the room. It doesn't belong here. This has nothing to do with reselling content. But that's who we're up against. They want to destroy you. The communists, the Marxists, the socialists, they want to break your neck, burn you alive, slit your throat, to use any analogy you could think of if you disagree with them. You're just a useful idiot. If you're joining their team, you're temporarily useful and helpful. Trust me, you will outlive your usefulness pretty quick in those totalitarian regimes. That's how it always works. So that's what we're up against, folks. I was frustrated the indictments weren't attached. Two handcuffs attached to each other. What are we doing? We've had a year and a half. We had 4 years before that. We had 4 years in between. You've got the evidence. Make the arrests. Because every day you don't arrest them along with the accusations, oh, nothing's happening because there's no there. Oh, they're lying. They're making up. If anything was happening, they would have been arrested by now. And it's like, damn it. Now they get to repeat that piece of shit lie. Now they're going to lie about that. And we can't prove otherwise because they weren't locked up. They weren't indicted. Doggone it all. Anyway. Thank you very much for being here on today's TNAM Daily Show. Hit the thumbs up. Share this show with the friend. If you're on your cell phone and your app lets you tap on YouTube and you can do the little hearts or the what do you get? You get hearts or you get confetti or tippity tap. Do the thing. Engage with the algorithm. Patriot Warrior said the other day that YouTube showed the TNAM Daily Show as a recommended video. He said, I've never seen this before. Patriot Warrior, you've been with us for what, 2 years or so? I'd also love to hear the origin story. I know some of your origin stories, the regulars here at the bar. How did you find us? How did you find Brian the bartender? How did you find the New American Media? How did you find the TNAM Daily Show? These stories are very different from each other. They're very interesting sometimes. But I'm always interested in the origin story. Where and how did you find Brian Engelman, the New American Media, TNAM Daily Show, the Agree to Disagree Show? How did you become aware that I existed? Why you come back? Hopefully that's obvious. Hopefully it's edutainment. I was trying to combine those words in a not a palindrome. What's it called? Doggone it. I've never properly learned this word. Not onomatopoeia. I'm scrolling through the index of words in my head. Not a palindrome. I keep wanting to say palindrome. When you merge two words together. I'm trying to think of it. I hope that this show is educational, entertaining, informative, insightful. I think we have a lot of philosophy in this show, something I don't really talk about much. But I've kind of been thinking about it. Jamie, look up what's the name for it when two words are combined to form one word. Portmanteau. Portmanteau. But I try to do introspection and deep thinking and philosophical ruminations. I try to, I don't know. I don't even really try to particularly do anything. I try to do the show that feels like the show that I have to give you this day. I don't know, not to sound pretentious or weird or anything, but it's just like I like writing songs and poetry and whatever. It's like sometimes the song comes out of you and you go, I don't really know where that came from. I wrote it down, but I don't know how I wrote it down. I played this on the guitar. I had never played that before. I don't know where it came from. It's like you kind of channel and tap into that stuff. Kenneth is saying I found this through Blake and Mike Barra. Yeah, that was the show I was on last night. Please check it out. Thank you, Kenneth. Love having you here. All the regulars, you're all awesome. Marion, I found TNAM from my brother. There you go. Patriot Warrior, the brother, says, I found you one day on Rumble looking for something real. Been my #1 show from there on. Yeah! See, that needs to be the tag. That needs to be like part of the advertisement. Looking for something real, and you've been my #1 show from then on. That's awesome. Danette's story is hilarious. I'm sorry. Let me pop this up. Let me put the chat up here because you guys are all saying a lot of stuff. Danette says, you found me, buddy. That is the truth. That is absolutely the truth. Yeah, never met, but I did find you somehow. And somehow the conversation led to, oh yeah, by the way, check out the show. And there's Danette. Now she has a mug arriving with a new company that she runs. You'll see when you get the package. Leanne says, Brian, they do have the proof of treason, but they're not doing anything about it. Why, oh, why, Delilah? Why? Why aren't they? Help me understand. I should set up some sponsors. I've been thinking about it. I've also been thinking about 100 other things that I haven't gotten to, but I digress. Unholy Hoax says, this show has good balance. I appreciate that. No producer is telling me what to do. I just do what I do naturally. And this is kind of the routine I've settled in, at least for the TNAM Daily Show. Try to figure things out. I do intend to get some more guests on. Guests drive ratings. I know that. The #1 rule in podcasts is get somebody with a huge audience and do the crossover. I know. But I'm also trying to just build this thing in my silo, head down. I got my hat on. I got the blinders on like I'm a racehorse. Just trying to stay focused on this. Focus is key. And the fact that I've been knocking out 5 to 6 to 7 TNAM Daily shows a week, if not more, when I do the TNAM PM show or I do the TNAM AM show or I do both, I have been focused on building something of my own. The guests will come. You see them on the TNAM intro and outro. And those guests are probably 5% of the people I want to show you all of these people that we're talking to over the years, because we've had access, we've had great conversations, we have street cred, like Blake was saying on the TNAM PM show, I think on Wednesday. He and I, the New American Media, have been at 2 of the most consequential citizen uprisings in American history. Not just of our lifetimes, of American history. Bundy Ranch, we were there, interviewing Pete Santilli, members of the Bundy family. On the ground, hearing about where the helicopters were flying over and shooting the cattle. Hearing about where the snipers were at on the little dips in the mountain ranges, here and over there. That shit left me rattled. It was a very uneasy feeling knowing that you were being surveilled and they've been shooting things and releasing German shepherds to attack pregnant women in the roads. Like, Bundy Ranch was a showdown with the federal government, and cooler heads prevailed because that could have sparked a second American Revolution. It was dicey. Then Blake and I in the New American Media end up January 6th, 2020, Washington, D.C. Our footage is perhaps some of the most compelling footage from that day. Go ahead, take a look. Go back and watch. We've been building something for a while. So one of these days, maybe it will pop the way that I've always intended it to. I don't know if that's some sort of partnership with some other network. I don't know if that's an angel investor to really get things off the ground. I don't really know. And part of me sort of really doesn't care. I feel like it's in God's hands, that the right people are going to come in at the right times. And So many of you have been so great, and I know there's more people we haven't met yet. I feel the protection of divine providence, at least to some degree. I mean, we're all mortal and we all have an expiration date at some time, I suppose. But like, I'm doing what I'm compelled to do. I have no agenda other than to try to make things better for as many people as possible. And that's just a magnetism, a guiding light, setting my sail to the wind of that. What is it? The penitent man shall pass. Thinking Indiana Jones, where he goes, kneel, and he had to duck, and like he almost got his head taken off. Or you have to take a leap of faith. You have to take a foot and step across that chasm. You can't see the road in front of you. Or even worse, it looks like sure destruction if you follow it. We're all going to die someday because that's the American way. Because I drank too much and slept too little. That was Corey Taylor on, what was that? What was the side project? Yeah, it was Corey Taylor from Slipknot. But yeah, Unholy Hoax, this show has a good balance. But yeah, I asked him, I said, how did you? He goes, yeah, I'm a Def Leppard fan, and I saw you with the video with Phil Collen, the guitar player from Def Leppard. Not Phil Collins, but Phil Collen. It was Phil Collen and Mike Huckabee. I'm like, oh my God, that was like January. I think it was January, maybe 2011. I didn't even have the New American Media built yet. Maybe a month later, I interviewed David Wilcock at Conscious Life Expo. Didn't even have a channel yet. Maybe that was the year I went out to Taos, New Mexico to build Earthships. And it was in Taos, New Mexico on the Sangre de Cristos mountains out there where I saw some object that was unidentified in the sky. It was just a glowing orb flew overhead. I'm like, what the hell is that? It was silent until it wasn't. And then it was gone by the time it was over. I was like, whoa. And I had the epiphany. I said, oh, I'm going to start something. I'm going to put my politics and current events and my introspection and my love for music and sports. And I'm going to put things into, because I didn't want it to be on my Brian Engelman social media. I wanted to create something. I said the New American Media, because the old American media failed. We're going to be seeking truth, challenging dogma, and having fun, and ask people join us in the mostly civil conversation. Mike hugged a bee. What are you going to do? Release the dogs or the bees? Or the dogs with bees in their mouths, and when they bark, they shoot bees at me? But yeah, the origin story of how you all found us. If you haven't told the origin story of how you found us, Leanne, how did you find us? David, how did you find us? I love these stories because I'm just curious, I'm curious. Is a rant brewing? Why didn't that show up? That was weird. I had to click it twice. Rants are always brewing. You know what I realized, though? I don't have coffee brewing. I have the water set up. I just never put the grounds in and got it going. So I'll tell you what. How about this? Let's all get our beverage situated. Everybody smash the thumbs up button. Tell us in chat how you found the TNAM universe, because I'm super curious. Share the show with a friend. Consider Rumble Rant and Super Chat tips if you're feeling frosty. Thumbs up the show. Like and subscribe. Oh, yeah, make sure you subscribe. By the way, make sure you're following the New American Media on Twitch and Kick. And our podcast, The Agree to Disagree Show. That's where we put all these shows. TNAM AM, TNAM PM. They all go on the Agree to Disagree Show. And while you're at it, follow the Unhappy Hour Sports Show podcast, please, on Spotify and Apple. Facebook, Truth Social. We're TNAM and TNAM Chat on Telegram and Signal as well. Try to link up with us in all the places, please, as well as Patreon, the New American Media. But, yeah. President Trump revealed a whole bunch of stuff. We'll break it down a little bit, and we're going to talk about the rest of the things happening in the news. So fill up your coffee cup, buckle up, buttercup. I feel like there should be a song in there. So fill up your coffee cup, buckle up, buttercup, because here comes the TNAM Daily Show. Might need to work on that one.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right. Patriot Warrior on Rumble says they just found the proof they needed this week to make the indictment stick. Let's hope. I don't like hopium. I like resultsium. That's what I prefer. Yes, that is what I prefer. Okay. Oh, here we go. Leanne says, found you through Liberty Tango via Ortho and Dina. Yeah. Yeah, I like the crew. Make sure everybody invites their friends into the bar. Kenneth, my friend, Algorithm, the DJ, turned me on to you. Not. That would be a great DJ name. Algorithm. Trash Panda. What is this kick? What is kick? As he comments on kick. Thank you for, the regulars, you guys are so awesome. I appreciate you so much. I really do. Oh, wait a minute. I let the cat out of the bag that I have a back scratcher. I don't need to use my hand, do I? Look at that. Oh, it's so much easier. Oh, that's so rewarding. Now I know why my cat appreciates that. My cat. Only one. Oh, rest in peace, Nimbus, buddy. Yeah, thanks for following us on Kick. Like, you guys are creating accounts just to follow us, just to kind of let those algorithms know that we're worth following. It all matters. It's all trying to combat the censorship and the algorithmic suppression. It's so important. What's that? My therapist didn't know what Buckle Up Buttercup was? How did that come up? How did that even... I should make some panda scratchers. Get some... Would you buy some panda scratchers? I mean, they do look like Panda Claus. Not different from Santa Claus. Sandy Claus. Sandy Claus. Anyway, let's get into the news, shall we? Oh, yeah, the place I didn't say. Instagram. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. This story is no longer available here. Let me hit refresh and see what's still available here. Did I go through all the stories? Oh, I got a few here. All right, let's do it this way. Let's pull up the screen. Follow us on Instagram, The New American Media, please. Yeah, I got to go backwards here. No, I'm just going to the beginning. You see this brawl inside of an In-N-Out burger?
Get out of here, bro. Out the door now, let's go. Out the door now, let's go.
Not good. When we said we wanted a burger animal style, we didn't mean you're going to act like animals. I was just at an In-N-Out burger. Yeah, this guy in the blue, he tries to break things up. This guy sitting here. And the girl is walking across. As people fell, she almost blew her knees out or broke her ankle. Like, situational awareness, people. It doesn't make you a pussy if you back away from a situation. All it takes is one of these dipshits to pull out a piece and you catch a stray. I don't know, man. Please don't be stupid, and please be aware of your situation, your surroundings. I'm very known for the people that I go out with. I'm very known for wanting to sit in a position where I can see the door and I can see the most of the place. I don't want to be like locked in on something. I want to have situational awareness for whatever it's worth. So, yeah. Actually, here, let's leave the comment. We ordered this animal style. We ordered this animal style. We don't want the customers acting like animals.
Why?
All right, let's keep going. Ivory Hecker says that the way Trump's nominee for intelligence director refused to say that Biden won in 2020. If you look at the numbers alone, Biden was by far the most popular president of all time in 2020 with 81 million votes, destroying Obama's count of only 69 million in 2008. This is a head scratcher for a lot of people. No, it's not. It just means America has more people in it, and that's why there's more people. Yeah, well, then why have the subsequent elections had far fewer? Back on par with the normal voting numbers, huh? Yeah. If he was wildly popular, why, when he visited the blue city of Houston weeks after his inauguration, was he met with zero supporters, only protesters? Ivory Hecker was there to cover it, not to mention the election anomalies in 2020. And she's right, though. She says, I wish Jay Clayton in his grilling yesterday would have been blunt with them and simply said he was serious, said that he has serious questions and will be investigating any foreign interference. They kept wanting to admit, did Joe Biden win 2020? Did Joe Biden win 2020? It's just like in Orwell's 1984. 2 + 2 = 5. Say it. I said it. 2 + 2 = 5, but you don't believe it. Believe it. 2 + 2 is 5. 2 + 2 is 5. 2 + 2 is 5. That's exactly what this, who's this guy? Mark Kelly? This dope. I'll leave a comment. Dems want us to repeat the lie that 2 + 2 is 5. But their insistence does not make it so. It's a pretty solid comment that nobody will see because Instagram throttles our account.
Why, Joe?
Remember we told you about the Canadian that smacked a little girl, teenager, celebrating the 4th of July, who was here on an expired visa and in the U.S. Illegally, allegedly. Oh, it's an expired visa too. Get the fuck out of here. Cat turd. Straight to prison. Common Sense says the charges have been filed, and I suspect the DA will determine if they are going to prosecute fairly quickly, but no doubt she will be expelled. She's probably lived an entitled life and just learned for the first time that behaviors have consequences. Look at this. Video has no sound. Smacking this kid. This is allegedly this incident. Smacked her in the face twice. You're not coming into our country and hitting our people. Fuck you. Get out. So, okay, we'll see how it goes. Awaiting updates on this story. Don't come in our house and pull crap like that. GTFO FAFO. Get the fork out and fork around and find out. Okay. So now we got some video that might be that person. All right. Anapolina Luna, Representative Anapolina Luna says the Chinese government is running a massive operation on the American people. They have spies infiltrating American politics. Chinese have spy balloons flying over our territory. They're engaged in agro-terrorism. They're engaged in disinformation campaigns online. Yes, this is a huge part of this that's been revealed. China engages in political networks shattering politics. Neville Singham is currently under investigation by the Department of Justice. Remember the name Neville Singham. Remember, of all the countries paying people to destroy the United States, China leads the way. They're running a well-funded psyop online and through moguls like Neville Singham, targeting political movements in addition to agro-terrorism. Let's not forget the CCP is taking advantage of birth tourism and surrogacy in the United States. They are paying American women to have children only to proceed to take them back to China and raise them as Manchurian candidate American citizens. Oh, by the way, China killed my mother and my brother with COVID-19. China killed half of my family. Just want that to sit there for a second. Instead of cussing or yelling, just imagine that. It takes your only sibling, not like I got a few more laying around, and one of your only two parents. They're not making any more of those. China, Fauci, Wuhan. On one hand, it was Schrodinger's virus. It only took the weak and the elderly and the morbidly overweight, and it was just the flu. Also, my brother was young and healthy, 39 years old. It took him. That in conjunction with what Fauci did to manipulate and Biden did to clamp down so we couldn't receive monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, vitamin C drips, the Merrick protocols, and, maybe some shit that could have saved lives and instead of checked boxes, giving you what the nurses were calling run death is near. They call it remdesivir. Had horrible, air quote, unsuccess rates. I'll just call them unsuccess rates with, I think it was Ebola? It shut down your organs, and then they rammed a ventilation tube down your throat because they forced you to, and then they exploded your lungs and just slid you into a casket and said, next! Oh, you're damn right. I got a bone to pick. And I wear this commie crap, communist crap, socialist crap, Marxist crap, ironically. Oh, you're damn right it was Obama and Fauci. When I say Biden, you say Bama. Biden, Bama. Yeah, as I've said 1,000 times, Joe Biden was the third Barack Hussein Obama term. Unless you count his deep state term, when they framed Trump and ran a campaign to have him impeached for exposing their crimes in Ukraine, Russia. That's since turned into a war. Yeah, Obama's probably had 4.5 terms now because he's still running interference with the deep state and the CCP. And yeah, Biden's a crony of them. I know. And look, all the smart people at that point were refusing the ventilator. At that point, my brother hadn't been able to breathe for 3 weeks. He was exhausted. He couldn't sleep. And I begged him not to. And he's like, man, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. He couldn't take the not a CPAP, a BiPAP machine, I think it was called. Couldn't take it off of his mouth to eat a bite of yogurt without almost dying because he couldn't breathe. His lungs were that damaged. And it was sort of like, well, anything's got to be better than this, or let's give it a shot. A lot of people take it, and then they get the theory was it'll give your body a chance to relax and heal, because you're just like you were keyed up to 110 the whole time. No, it blew out his lungs and had a heart attack or whatever technically it was, and COVID or double pneumonia, and horrible medical care is what killed him, along with Fauci, Obama, Biden, the CCP. Yep. Yeah. Kenneth is suggesting here at the Moon Saloon Bar, where Brian the bartender does his work, maybe I should put on the menu Anna Paulina's tuna. Yeah, like a tuna fish sandwich. I like tuna fish. I really do. Although, please don't make the jokes that are coming. I know that there are jokes coming for that. Anyway, China doing birth surrogacy so you can get Manchurian candidates here to mess up our country, subvert us. Code Pink is only one of the many networks funded by the CCP to bring division into this country. Every single one of these organizations need to be investigated. Good news is the Department of Justice is on it. Okay, well, start dropping the thousands of gotta capitalize that, indictments then already. All caps. What are we waiting for? I'm so fed up with it all. Yeah, this is Ingram, Texas. We talked about the floods. We were talking about San Antonio floods. Look at this. We are losing everything for a second time after having a result from the catastrophic flooding a year ago. We were still trying to recover from the damages, and at this time it's even worse. Man.
We are flooding so bad we've lost all of our enclosures. Our deer pens, our big enclosures, chicken coops, turkey pens, everything. All the lawnmowers, I smell gasoline, lawnmowers, excavators.
I mean, that's hell. That's being in hell. Like, hell can look like fire and brimstone, and hell can look like water and floods.
Washer and dryers. We're about to lose the dumpster.
That's rough. Prayers out there. Bhagavad Gita allegedly says, whatever is happening to you has been waiting to happen to you since the beginning of time. As a Christian, you're taught like this is your book and this is your main book and just focus on this book. I'm like, that's great. I like this book. It's good. Also, there's a lot of wisdom in a lot of things. And like that reselling channel that went off its rocker, it's like, I almost unfollowed like 5 or 10 times. Like, no, I'm going to stick around. I'm going to be mostly polite, mostly civil, mostly respectful. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm kind of curious how this plays out. And even if I'm not into Bhagavad Gita stuff or this or that or the other, I'm interested. I'm curious. There are things I can learn, things I want to do, things I want to avoid. But that phrase is interesting. Whatever is happening to you has been waiting to happen to you since the beginning of time. Leanne says, Brian, I took ivermectin for that year and never got sick. Yeah. Worst part was my brother was on vitamin C and D and zinc. Because we talked about it. It's like, hey, Dad, hey, Chris. No, not Unholy Hoax. The other Chris. It's like vitamin C, D, zinc. They were all taking it, allegedly. But I don't know what the quality of the stuff they were taking and how consistently. Were they missing days? Were they low doses? I don't know. And my brother was prescribed ivermectin, but they gave him like 12 milligrams because they were terrified to even prescribe it. Remember when it was horse paste and dangerous misinformation that's getting people killed? It's disinformation. It's horse paste. Don't take that. What are you, a horse? Stop it. Seriously, says the FDA. Bunch of assholes. And they threaten the doctors. If you go off of our protocol of remdesivir, a tube, and a coffin, we're going to take your medical license away. People were terrified. So they're like rationing ivermectin, or like, I'll give you some, but I don't want you to overdose on it. Or it's like, you can't overdose. Like, what are you talking about? Don't overdose on water. I think he was prescribed 12 milligrams when for his body weight, he should have had 60 milligrams. So like brewing a pot of coffee, instead of 2 heaping scoops, you got to pinch, and it didn't help him enough. COVID almost killed Danette. Glad it didn't. Kenneth took, I thought I said liver, took ivermectin as needed and took care of COVID quickly. How much did your ivermectin cost? I was able to obtain some, and we smuggled some to my brother in the hospital. And the nurses refused to administer it. They would lose their jobs if they did. It's like, aren't we in charge of our own patient care? Nope. I really don't ever want to go to a hospital or trust a medical advisor ever again because of what they did. Like, ever. You know, like they say, maybe for broken bones, or maybe for, joint surgeries or things like that. So it's mechanical stuff, but I don't trust you for a goddamn thing ever again. And I don't like using that phrase because I don't like to disrespect God, but what the medical industry did has been damned by God. God-damned things. Because if there's a God, which I believe there to be, that God should damn what happened over those 6 years, 4 years. Oh, geez, $60 a month, but worth it? Yeah, I paid highway robbery charges. I would have paid 10 times it. God, what did I pay? $500 for some? I think like maybe that was a bottle for me and a bottle for my brother and a bottle for my dad. And I don't know, $500, $1,000. I'm like, I don't know. I just fucking give me it, like whatever. Somebody left their vacation to go like an hour home to open up their personal compound pharmacy to get the ivermectin. And I had 3 people. I mean, this was like Harriet Tubman, Underground Railroad, severed pinky toe in the Cracker Jack box full of ice while Kramer's driving and still making the stops on Seinfeld. It was an all points bulletin. Who can get me some? How do I get it? Because I'm like, my brother might die from that. Like, I didn't even go visit him. I thought he was just like, all right, you'll be okay. And he was hours away. And I'm like, shit, I can't get there in time. And I'm like, that's what I was doing. I was coordinating, obtaining the unobtainable nectar of the gods. And yeah, I had somebody go out of their way to go open it up to sell us some. Then somebody picked it up and took it to another midway point. Someone picked it up from there. Then someone met them in another parking lot to take it to the hospital. No visitors were allowed. So a family member had to come out and get it and then take it up. And then the nurses wouldn't administer it. And they said, by the way, if you ever need privacy, just ask me to go step outside. I totally respect all of that. And if you ever have something that you want to put into your loved one here, this is how you crush the pill. This is how you dilute it with a little water. Here's how you swirl this around and then pour it into this tube. And here's how you do this so that the tube, the feeding tube, so that it will administer this medicine that I'm not allowed to provide. I can't watch you do. Just in case anybody was curious, that's what you would do if you wanted to administer that. And if you ever need me to leave this room, just ask me to leave. Completely unrelated topics. Whoever that nurse was, thank you. I understand you had a gun to your head, just like when I have to read, by the way, for countervailing views on ivermectin, COVID-19, and the 2020 election, go to cisa.gov/rumor control. Go get your countervailing views for our deep state fucking cover-up lies. China. Zero love for China. boiling rage and hate. Maya Angelou was asked by Dave Chappelle on the Iconoclast series on Sundance about the civil rights era, about what it was like being in the movement, but you're watching Bobby Kennedy, JFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all getting assassinated. Aren't you angry? And she says, oh, David, of course it made us angry. But I can't carry that anger around today. Anger is like a cancer. It does nothing to the object you're angry at, but if you hold on to it, it will make you sick. So yes, I remember, and it impacted me, but I can't allow myself to be angry today. David, she kept calling him David. So, and that's not to mention China stealing our intellectual properties with every company that they let go in there. Oh, they can make it cheaper. Oh, they can make it cheaper when they're buying oil at a third of the price it's supposed to be from Iran and Venezuela. Oh, China can make shit cheaper when they have an army of Uyghur slaves. Oh, well, surely we got to go in business with them. But one thing. We must see all of your implementation strategies, all of your schematics, and we must steal all of it and create a company that will then bankrupt you. Yeah, you shouldn't lay with swine. You're calling Chinese people swine. Calling the CCP what they are. And yes, I've got a vendetta. My name is Inigo Montoya. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Whatever is happening to you has been waiting to happen to you since the beginning of time. Just perspective. Anybody else? Did you have explosive diarrhea lettuce and smoke this thick from Canadian wildfires on your July bingo card? I miss those bingo cards, those memes that would kind of like walk through each month and the meme of the month and stuff. Those were great. I haven't even covered the explosive diarrhea lettuce. Has anybody been impacted by this alleged problem with our food contamination? I haven't encountered it yet, but be aware. Now, is this true? I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it into Grok. And before I read you the story, I'm going to ask, is it true? Jamie? Yes, it's largely true and well supported by reports from Maryland schools, state agencies, and researchers. Okay, check this out, people. If all school lunch programs were this innovative, Cisco would be livid, says Grant on Soil. They are close to 1 billion pounds of invasive catfish destroying the Chesapeake Bay right now. Invasive from where? Well, because of this, Maryland schools decided to serve them for lunch. Blue catfish were introduced to Virginia rivers in the 1970s and have since colonized the entire Chesapeake Bay watershed. Oh, colonizing a new area and destroying it. Do you know anything about that, Europe? They've colonized the entire Chesapeake Bay watershed, consuming an estimated 59 million pounds. They're eating the crabs. They're eating the crabs, the shrimp, the fish, the oysters, and the clams. 59 million pounds every single day. The blue crab, one of the most iconic species in the region, is now at some of the lowest population levels in recorded history. Maryland's response is one of the best food system solutions that I've come across. Instead of expensive removal programs that go nowhere, They built a local supply chain, licensing commercial fishers to catch the catfish, connecting them with processors and institutional buyers, and landing them directly in school cafeterias as breaded catfish sandwiches, fish cakes, and fillets. Students enjoyed the food, and they understood their lunch became an act of ecological restoration. This is exactly the kind of thinking that our food system needs more of. Local sourcing that solves an environmental problem, supports independent fishermen, puts real protein in schools, and cuts out every industrial middleman in the process. And we're going to type, we friggin' love this. So cool. Had to double check if it was a real story, though. And that's how you should consume your media as well. Double check to see if it's correct or not. But man, that's awesome. Fabian Garcia. Yeah, can't put it on the screen with the chat. Oh, deer burgers would be awesome. I once cooked a deer backstrap for somebody who did not want to try it, did not want to taste it. I cooked the steak. They loved it. Weeks or months later, they were informed that that was deer. Wasn't trying to harm that person in any way. Oh, yeah, bison burger. That's good, too. Tonight, we'd have 3 bingo cards at home on the table with as much as we have going on. All right, Fabian Garcia says, they keep telling you this country is finished. These are the black pill people. The aliens are in charge. The aliens are going to destroy the planet. Earth is overpopulated. We're going to have an ice age. We're going to have Earth's going to get caught on fire because of global warming. No, it's going to get cold. Then it's going to get hot. We're going to call it climate change. No, it's called the fucking seasons. No, Earth is run by whatever. Everything's black-pilled. Everything's fallen to shit. There's no point. We're overpopulated. Don't have kids. Don't bring kids into this terrible, terrible, terrible world. Georgia Guidestones. Keep the population under 500,000. Everything's bad. Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact. It's just one of those days. Come on, you know who I'm quoting there. The great poet. No, not Maya Angelou, another great American poet. Yeah, that is true. What's up, Joker Poker? Happy to have you. How you doing? Catfish is dirty meat. They're bottom feeders. They eat poop from the floor. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Chickens rummage through didn't they run around in their shit? Pigs eat and root and shit, and shrimp are bottom feeders too. Lobster, bottom feeders too. What was it, Leviticus, that said not to eat all the shellfish and the things that crawl around on the floor eating gunk? Shrimp cause shrinkage? I now. Anyway, people keep telling you this country's finished. Run one experiment on yourself before you believe them. Reach into your pocket. The phone in your hand now holds more computing power than the entire room of machines that put a man on the moon in 1969. Sorry, please Q. We never landed on the moon. And when I say Q, I don't mean the 17th letter of the alphabet. Oh, God, I can't say anything without triggering everybody. That's it. I quit. You're right. Country's screwed. Earth is screwed. You live in a country that went from the first airplane in 1903 to a blueprint on the moon in 66 years. That laid the interstate that you drive on in a single generation. Oh, I'm sorry. The country that laid the interstate you drive on in a single generation. All right, let's focus on the interstate. No moon talk. And the country that still runs the largest economy on Earth. You did not inherit a nation in decline. You inherited one that got talked out of remembering what it is. That is not a country that is finished. It's a country that stopped reading its own record. I like that. No black pills here. You're racist. You don't want black pills. Anyway. All right. Some of you in here love your Thomas Massey. I like a lot of what Massey does as well. Shadow Vezra says Thomas Massey just set a trap for the next Attorney General, Todd Blanche, by introducing his new Epstein Files Transparency Act 2. Take a listen.
First bill's been very successful. We got 3 million documents released, but there have been some dragging of feet by the Attorney General and the Acting Attorney General. And so, this is to spur the next level. Specifically, the main thing that this new bill does that we've introduced is forces the U.S. Attorney General to cooperate with state attorneys general that want to prosecute Epstein co-conspirators under state law. And it turns out in New Mexico, that's where the Zorro Ranch was. You hear a lot about Epstein Island. You hear almost nothing about Zorro Ranch, but it was expansive. It was massive. People were going.
Expansive and massive? I was broke and I was poor. You're broke and poor?
Going there all the time. Crimes were committed there.
I don't know. I don't like Massey chumming up with Ro Khanna at all. I don't like Ro Khanna at all.
And some of those aren't barred by statute of limitations. And so the Attorney General in New Mexico would like to prosecute those crimes. And so we're making it easier with this bill. That's one.
Haven't heard a lot about Zorro Ranch. Wasn't that bought by some Christian guy that wanted to turn it into a spa and retreat? Wasn't it like a horror house? Wasn't it like the worst place on earth? I don't know. Zorro Ranch. Haven't heard that in like a year.
One of the things it does. The first bill.
I want to get to the bottom of it. I really do.
The first bill's been very.
Aaron Durkin says, yeah, guys, everything's fine. It's just mid-July and you can't breathe the air or eat a salad. Everything's fine. Just can't breathe the air or eat a salad. Everything's fine. Go back to sleep. Trash Panda Don Huffiness bought Zorro Ranch. What is the background on Don? Jeanette loves me some Massey and original Ron Paul. What do you mean original? Oh, you mean not Rand Paul? Or but he's so disappointed in Rand. Look, Rand gets a lot of stuff right. Nobody's going to get everything right. I try to urge a little bit of caution on the black pill folk. Not calling you out or anybody in particular. It's just in general. Nobody's going to get everything 100%. Baseball players make it to the Hall of Fame. If you get 3 hits out of 10, you failed 7 out of 10 times. And 3 out of 10 is enough to make it into the Hall of Fame. You know, free throws, 90%. You're going to miss 1 out of 10. Completion percentage, 60, 70%. You're missing 3 out of 10. I try to give a little bit of leeway to people. Like Rand Paul does some dopey shit and he does some good stuff. He's way better than any Democrat. I've had my problems with Thomas Massey blocking Trump on important things that need to happen. And he's too pie in the sky, pious. Pie in the sky, pious? Pious in the sky? Pious in the sky. Smoke on the water. Pious in the sky. Anyway, I'm just saying, like nobody's perfect. Zorro Ranch was a hideout, says the end. Yeah, Zorro Ranch was maybe the epicenter of some. I want to dig that whole property up and figure out what's going on there. Trash Panda says that's a new Texas state comptroller. When the moon hit my eye while going to get pizza pie, now I'm suing. Oh, what did I say at the beginning of this show? Something that started to rhyme, and I'm like, that could be the themes. Something with buckle up, buttercup. Oh, yeah, so fill up your coffee cup, buckle up, buttercup. It's the TNAM Daily Show. Ba-na-na-na. Anyway. Yeah, guys, everything's fine. It's just mid-July and you can't breathe the air or eat a salad.
I think this might.
I kind of, I might have touched on a little bit of this. A little bit of black pill. A little bit of recognizing where we are. And it's a little bit of trusting the guidance of God. If you guys weren't aware that I was a musician, how many times do I sing little clips of stuff or quote lyrics from people? Eddie Vedder on the 10 album said, I'll ride the wave where it takes me. I, release me. I'll ride the wave where it takes me. There's a wave. There's a wind current. There's a force guiding us. What was that movie? I'm guided by a force much greater than luck. Anyway, I was scrolling past this and it looked kind of interesting, so I'll share it with you now. The Kaler Betts. Not familiar with him, but this is interesting.
I think this might be the best video I've ever made. Okay, anyone who's red-pilled and awake right now is typically terrified and anxious about where the world is headed, and I'm about to tell you why I've never been more excited to be alive in my entire life. Okay, let me explain. Look, around 2020, a lot of us woke up, including me, eyes wide open, like truly woke up, like we're being lied to, the corruption is out of control, the world's a circus, okay? Right now, Canada's on fire, literally, okay? But also politically, economically, spiritually. The Israel situation has split the entire conservative movement in half. There's a war in the Middle East with no end in sight. AI is barreling down the pipeline and nobody's ready for it. Social media is rewiring our kids' brains. Hell, it's toxic for our brains. Our food is toxic. Our water is toxic. Our clothes, turns out, are toxic. Okay, the media is an absolute joke and we don't even know who to trust. We got digital ID and digital banking coming. The Epstein list, forget about it. Nothing's happening. The Charlie Kirk trial, forget about it. Nothing's happening. Hollywood is doing its satanic thing as per usual. It's a circus, okay? We're truly living in a movie and trust me, it's messed up. I get it. But here's the thing you have to realize, guys. I hope you know that successful people are really good at holding two truths at once, okay? They can hold all of the evil.
And that said, two men can still want to make a wrong a right. There was one more comment. Oh, did I click it or did I not click it? Yep, there you go. We can have multiple things true at one time. That's exactly what dude is saying. Look at that. Prescient comment.
But they also can hold all the good simultaneously. And I don't think it's a coincidence that all of this evil is peaking at the exact moment that we have more agency to build our own lives than ever before in human history. You can run your life like a small, well-managed country. We never used to be able to do that. Is our food and water toxic? Absolutely. But you have more information on how to optimize your physiology than any king would have ever had in all of human history. Social media is poisoning everyone, sure, but only the ones who are using it unconsciously. Use it with intention and calculation, and it becomes the most powerful tool you've ever touched. Politics is a mess, sure, but it's always...
Yeah, that right there. A gun is neither good nor bad. A vehicle is neither good nor bad. You can use a gun for self-defense against a demon, or you could use a gun to become a demon. A vehicle is not good or bad. It can take you from one place to another with ridiculously, relatively... insane levels of comfort. I mean, tippity tap on this and that, and you're listening to podcasts, you got your music, you can turn on the heated seats if it's chilly, you can defrost the window. I mean, you're like a superhero flying across the country on these awesome roads. You know, if you've ever traveled internationally, go to Jamaica, man. You'll see quite quickly, man. From Montego Bay to Negril. It's just bumpy roads. All you see on the roads. Tourist buses, luxury sedans, nothing else, man. Nobody can afford cars unless you're the drug dealer. Or the corrupt police. Everybody else barefoot walking on the side of the road, man. No middle-class houses. They living in shacks, corrugated metal. Goats eating tin cans. I don't do my Jamaican very often. I feel like I kind of have a bit of a knack for it. Rate my Jamaican. 1 to 10. Compare it to the other things that I impersonate, including Eddie Vedder. How was my Eddie Vedder? Could it have been a little Eddie better? Anyway. But yeah, politics are bad. Politics have always been bad, he's saying.
Always been a mess. It's always been corrupt. But now you can build your own economy like never before. You can live like royalty from anywhere you want on earth. So is the world more toxic than I ever would have even imagined? Yes. But my God, do we have more antidotes than ever before? And here's the one thing that is really starting to change how I see everything is that I've started to entertain the possibility that all of this is in God's hands, that there really is a bigger plan at play. And if we're happy to give him the glory for every blessing, then why not hand him our fears and our anxieties too? Guys, we are a speck in something far bigger than what we can even comprehend. And when you truly surrender to that plan instead of drowning in all the noise, that is when you start to win. And that's when you start to become really, really excited about the times that we're in. I know that's not a popular opinion, but that's just the vibe today, baby, okay?
I like that a lot. I told John McAfee in my last I need to peel that off. I went back and I was listening. I go, when did I say that? I know I said it. I hope I didn't say it to him off the air. And I haven't got, could anyone go back to my interview with John McAfee? I think it was my CIA just got nuked Vault 7. I don't know why I can't do it. Anyway, did I say to John McAfee that if there's a God, and I believe that there is, if there's a God and I meet that maker at the end of this experience, I want to say that I tried. I don't know if what I'm doing at the New American Media Matters, not Media Matters. No. Would never team up with them. But I don't know if my efforts are going to make a difference. Was it a hill of beans or something? I don't know if what I'm doing is going to move the needle in any significant way at all. But if there's a maker and I have to meet that maker, I want to be able to look that maker in the eye and say, I tried. Can someone tell me, did I have that conversation with him? And if so, at what minute mark? I know I need to just find it. I don't like going back and listening to my shows. I don't like going back and editing my content. I don't. That's why I haven't updated the TNAM intro in a year and a half. I should have. I've interviewed 50 other friggin' amazing scores, amazing gets, amazing interviews. Things that you'd click on, like if every image there was 1 second and you're going, holy shit, you've talked to all these people. I go, yeah. And that's not even the whole list. It's a snapshot. Trash Panda grades my Jamaican. You give me 7 of 10 red stripes, man. Everything I read. Oh, yeah, we call those beer grenades because they're short and stout. I'm a little red stripe, short and stout. Don't try to drink coffee while you're humming a children's song. I tried to sing it, then hum it, then burp it. I'm Tim Burpett, and we'll leave the lot on for you, daggone. Jamaican me hungry, man. You gave me a 3. I can work on it. I know it's a little cartoonish. It's a little too high-pitched, man. Could slow it down. Lower the timbre of the voice, man. Everything I read. Oh, I know it's a little too high, but. Oh, 8 stripes now? Burp. Oh, red stripe. They make it on the island. Some of it. I've never had a better red stripe than when I was there. Oh, was it good? Was it good? God, that was maybe one of the best beers I've ever had. I had Budweiser beer brewed the same day that it was bottled. Oh, was that fantastic. Man, I've had some beer phases. I don't even keep it in the house anymore. That's why it was such a treat down in San Antonio, going to that piano bar and having a blacksmith. Jamaican me sleepy, man. Joker Poker won a trip to Jamaica from selling Kirby's door to door. I'll never forget that. It was legit paradise on the resort. Outside was poverty. Yeah, dude. That's exactly what I'm saying. Corrugated metal shacks, barefoot, or a private resort. Did you fly into Montego Bay? Did you go to Negril? I stayed in a villa. The tour guide, man. Well, anyway, I'll tell that story later. Danette loves how this dude wants to live courageously. Yeah. Oh, you're saying I told you that when we first met, and that's why you followed me? Oh, I told you the John McAfee story. I try not to overtell my stories, but when something fits, I know the pieces fit because I watch them fall away. Mildewed and smoldering, fundamental distancing, pure intention, juxtapose enough to second guessing. back together and rediscover communication. That's Maynard James Keenan. Yeah, I don't have an intention to tell every story in my life, but when something is very apt, when it's very apropos, when it's very appropriate for the moment, yeah, I drop those stories then. And I'm a pretty well-learned individual, so I can talk about anything. I can do full music shows, and we like doing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame shows. They're weird though, because it's always like, well, this person isn't a rock and roll person. Why are they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? But it is fun going through their catalogs and seeing, do they deserve to be in there? I love doing sports shows, like I said. If you want some coasters, shoot me $30 and I'll mail them to you. Shoot me a Venmo with your address. My sports show, The Unhappy Hour. You need coasters in your life at your bar. 2 sets of 8 total wooden coasters for $50, shipping included. Pins are $25. If you want a mug, $40 or $30. We'll give you the Danette special, and we'll mail those out to you. Shoot me a Venmo. And by the way, Rumble Rant, Super Chat, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and Patreon. Please consider tossing a silver dime or two into my tip jar back there. That's my top of the hour ad read that I forgot to read 30 minutes ago, but I digress. Yeah, I guess I did tell you that, huh? And that's why you followed me. Cool. I'm putting breadcrumbs out. What was that? That was from Hansel and Gretel. Leanne goes by faith over fear. Yeah. Now I'm clicking these and they're not showing up. I got to double click them. That's weird. But this one I hit once and it came right up. I was talking about John McAfee. Yeah. Yeah, I vividly recall that. God will lick a small gold star and place it in your life book. Hey, man, if I got to account for everything, I got a lot that I'm going to go, that wasn't good. I don't remember it that way. Was I really like that? Did I do that? It's not the best. It's not a good look. I wouldn't do that again if I had a chance. So you got to kind of balance it with trying intentionally to do some good things and be like, hey, man, I'm trying to be like cognizant of things and be good in many ways. Yeah, I mean, if there's a life book, you should put some good stuff in it. Trash Panda won a beer drinking contest in Jamaica. Oh, I went to that beer drinking contest. I had crab legs on the beach. Speaking of those blue crabs in Chesapeake Bay. Yeah, I had barbecue crab legs. Dungeness crab. Were they Dungeness? Probably whatever was local. I don't know. Maybe that's like the snow crab over there, probably in the Atlantic or the Caribbean, rather. I did not enter the beer contest, but I was at a place where they had a beer contest. Oh, that's good, Kenneth. You were but one of God's pixels. Joker Poker went to Ocho Rios. That guy play for the Bengals? Ocho Rios? Is that his name? That's such a great song. I don't know what song you're talking about. What song is a great song? That's why I ask that your comments have a full thought in them, because sometimes I'm on top of your comments. Other times I go back. All right. Speaking of going back, let's keep rocking and rolling, yo.
I think this might be the best.
Trying to engage.
All right. Jeez Louise, sir. You're deep into your show and you barely talked about what Trump talked about. Okay. I sort of gave you the rundown at the top. You want to dig around and get all your specifics? Go get your specifics. Go get them. But here we go.
China engaged in other election-related activities to undermine my first administration and our 2020 campaign. They did not want, and they just didn't want it. They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win, and for good reason. As the documents we are releasing show, CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party's policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his re-election. Isn't that nice? Also, in mid 2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 presidential election itself. Separately, in mid-2019, the Chinese government's strategy against the United States was focused on undermining domestic confidence in the U.S. president. They wanted to just make you sound like your president wasn't so hot, when actually your president has done a great job. And they did everything possible to do exactly that. Going on, this document says, and this is by the CIA, the strategy included efforts to use Chinese contacts with big U.S. companies to influence U.S. business leaders to turn against the President of the United States of America.
So much manipulation, so much propaganda, all of it.
Trying to engage.
All of it.
Trying to engage.
C3 says, this is what they want you to believe. 2020, Biden had 81 million. Trump had 74. 4 years later, Trump had 77. Kamala had 75. Where did those 6 million Kamala votes go? More like 8 to 10 if you don't count the late fraud votes. Yeah. They would have tried it again this time. Except we were awake. The Skiff says Trump drops the hammer and confirms 2020 election fraud with multiple sets of ICAs and documents released yesterday, proving our elections are compromised. The CIA was involved, actually. The machines are compromised, like people have said. And multiple foreign countries have had access to our elections, which manipulated the 2020 election for Joe Biden, says the Skiff. Shiloh Mark says declassified document states the People's Republic of China obtained and analyzed PII, or is it P2? PII? World War XI. I feel like I'm having my World War XI moment. Bananas and rice. It's like bananas and I don't know how else to describe it. There's so many ways to describe it. It's like it's such a rich tapestry. I guess it's like bananas and rice. I'm having a World War XI Ilhan Omar moment. Is it PII or P2 or P11? Anyway, can I just continue reading this? Declassified document states the People's Republic of China obtained and analyzed voter registration data from 18 states in the 22 midterm elections, including over 8 million North Carolina voters. Yeah, we have been, people just want to talk about Biden in 2020. No. Get in the hole, Billy. Be like the ball, Billy. Be like the ball. Tell me what is that from? Tell me in chat. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. Share this show on X. Share this show on Facebook. Text it to some of your friends. Please invite them to the party. We've been robbed of several red waves. No, this isn't a very close Congress. It should be a blowout MAGA Congress. And they've been cheating for so long. So many installed traitors. The Skiff says Chinese cyber 2020 election espionage operations targeting United States presidential campaign information, U.S. voter databases, polling data, with attempted spear phishing emails to government and election officials with knowledge of campaign officials' operating systems, which would allow them to quickly exploit something. It cut off there. Thousands of pages of foreign IP addresses sending and receiving data to election precincts and servers outside the United States during the 2020 election. CISA, DHS, FBI, CIA all knew about these because they were in on it. The deep state rot runs deep. The Skiff says the 19,958 Trump votes flipped to Biden on live TV in Pennsylvania. Trump went from 1.69, et cetera, to 1.67, while Biden went from 1.252 to 1.272 votes. The exact amount of votes that Trump lost, Biden gained. Now, all of these, you can seriously go to CISA.gov/rumor control. Legitimately, I'm reading what the skiff is saying. Is that thunder or construction? Am I going to be able to mow? It'd be helpful if I could. But really, go to CISA.gov/rumor control, because there's a lot of accusations out there. I don't know what's been proven in a court of law. Oh, man, it's showing it. It's going to rain. Am I going to be able to mow? I don't have to, but I did want to get it out of the way. The skiff says Fulton County ordered 1 million extra absentee ballots without stubs or envelopes for 2020 election and lied about it. Total number of ballots ordered in addition to what was mailed to voters was over 1 million. This should tell you everything you need to know. Fulton County's own records include 22,000 more ballots cast than voters credited with casting a ballot, almost double Biden's margin of victory in the 2020 election with almost 12,000 votes. That was the little fruit fly I was trying to clap, but I didn't see it. The state's own records show, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's a lot of just digging into it. 2026 CIA intelligence report on Venezuela's electronic voting manipulation capabilities from 2004 to 2020. This report concludes the machines were specifically designed to alter elections and gained access to real-time election results with their intent to influence U.S. elections, people. Democrats had to cheat on top of already cheating, They had to shut down states and inject a total of between 10 and 20 million fraudulent votes into the 2020 election in order to exceed their original prediction to clear Trump's massive lead in the margin of victory itself. Yeah. They had to cheat so hard because Trump was winning by so damn much. By the way, let me say this boldly and loudly to anybody with ears. Please do not be so focused on this one particular component that you miss the potentiality of what might be coming down the pike. You hear that Mom Donnie was elected with only 11% or 13% or 10% of the vote in New York City? Bullshit, I say. Bullshito. I don't believe that, do you? You don't have any verifiable proof that's been proven in a court of law. You're pushing out election misinformation and disinformation. Okay, sweetheart. All right, sweetheart. Get a load of this. I think now that the illegals can't vote, and the illegals are getting kicked out, and the fake signups are disappearing, and the SAVE Act is on the way, I think what they're going to do, instead of trying to produce extra ballots, I think they're going to try to pull in New York City to conquer the country. Oh, that's thunder. I think they're going to try to erase ballots. Oh, it was historically low voter turnout because President Trump people don't like him so much because of Iran. Because of Iran. What, we love Iran? Fuck Iran. At least the Islamic Republican Guard Corps, the Islamic supremacists that are paying all the global terrorist campaigns. No, President Trump is unpopular because of Iran. No, it's because of gas prices. No, I don't like higher gas prices, but getting the Gulf of America rocking so that we can export, fixing the Venezuela situation, fixing China buying all the cheap energy on the market. It's artificially sending all of our manufacturing over there. If we could step back from a couple of these, if you get real close on some of these issues, I'm just as pissed as you are. It's just that I'm so much smarter than you. I know that's how that sounds, but bear with me. Back up a couple of steps. See the bigger picture. See the forest for the trees. Venezuela, China, election rigging. And all the Democrats have done, along with the rhinos, is try to destroy this country. I don't see President Trump in on this destruction. That's why they've tried to impeach him over bullshit. That's why they've tried to sue him privately. That's why they've tried to ruin and destroy his character, lying about this and that, changing the statute of limitations so district attorneys in the rotten states of Georgia and New York could just tear him down. They tried to blow his head up in Butler, Pennsylvania, only because he did this at the exact moment. Or we didn't land on the moon and Trump didn't get shot. I got it. I can't. All right, fine. But I really do think this is the best field general we've had since George Washington. Maybe back to Eisenhower, maybe Roosevelt, maybe we've had a couple. Lincoln, you either like Lincoln or you don't like. How could you dislike Lincoln? He freed the slaves. Ask the southern states that called it the War of Northern Aggression and how he suspended a whole bunch of civil liberties at that time. Ask Ukraine how they feel about suspending elections during a time of war and suspending civil liberties. You think they're happy with Zelensky? But Russia's so bad. Okay, I get it. All I'm asking, step back and take a look at it. There's a lot going on. I know it sounds dangerously close to trust the plan. I don't want to push that shit because that makes it seem like this stuff is out of our control. And I don't want things to be out of our control. But maybe let's just take a breath and step back a little bit. Maybe let him cook. His whole first term was robbed from him. From Mike Pence and the deep state actors blocking him and impeaching him. And then harassing and interrogating and indicting and trying to destroy him through lawfare, trying to destroy him on a golf course in Florida. They had a speech in Butler. They hate this dude. I don't think he's on the same team that they are. I could be wrong. And I'm not 100% convinced. But I do think this is the best shot we've had since I've been breathing air. So I would just be cautious that maybe their goal is to just erase and delete votes and say they never got them or the machine didn't register them or, you've heard those stories of the mail. If it's sent to a Republican, it has like a slight difference on it. Like there's like a code or a stamp or a mark on it, or you can tell if they're different. So you throw away piles of these and throw them in a trash compactor. They never get counted. Then the other ones are counted. I think we've kind of figured out how to identify fake votes from people who aren't qualified to be voters. But I would guess they're going to try to erase a whole bunch of votes now and say, nope, it's because of the Jews. The Jews in AIPAC, split MAGA. Everyone's staying home. Right. No, you're probably right. There's too much influence from Marion Adelson in AIPAC. So let's vote Democrat. Said no fucking person ever, except Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson. There is no realm of the multiverse scenario where I would ever consider voting Democrat anywhere ever. Fucking anyone ever. That party is a domestic terrorist organization. A Marxist, globalist, deep state pile of garbaggio that is rotten to its core. I can have problems with influence. I can have problems with merging these two countries and who has too much control in the National Defense Authorization Act and AIPAC. And I got it. I can hear that and I can agree with so much of that. And I can still not think that President Trump is an absolute puppet for the Jews. He's one of them. There's no difference between Trump and Obama. People have tried to tell me, libertarians who I say, you're just a leftist. I don't know why you try to play libertarian. You're a lefty, dude. You're a lefty, lady. It's not just over the Israel thing. It's over like 10 or 20 issues. I go, are you sure about that? And it's just constant Trump criticism and saying Trump's no different than Biden. Trump's no different than Obama. I'm like, I look at these people with like a confused Labrador. No, I don't see slight variations between Obama, Biden, and Trump. I see an exactly antithetical magnet that it's spun the opposite way, and it is the exact opposite. So anyway, the skiff says 10 to 20 million fraudulent votes were added to steal the 2020 election from President Trump. They literally shut down voting precincts to cheat on top of already cheating because of Trump's massive lead exceeding their original prediction to clear the margin of victory. But here's the rub. Here's what it comes down to. I've known about this. You've known about this. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Unless you're on ABC or one of the networks that decided to not air the address to the nation, because is there really ice cream to scream for if nobody hears you screaming? But if this is true, and go get your countervailing views on health and elections, why not? If we've known about it and now we know even more, where are the arrests? Where are the indictments? You look like a liar if you're not going to have a 3 a.m. coordinated sting and arrest a couple thousand people. You've known. We've all known. And without the teeth of an indictment and an arrest, that's where my frustration lies. That's my biggest.
Yeah. Particularly.
Who's this goofball? Senate candidate Jordan Wood, Democrat, M.E. I always got to think. Missouri, Maryland, Michigan, Maine, Montana, Missouri, Minnesota,
Particularly in this Trump administration, we have
Maine. Yeah, I was right with Maine. Maine Democrat candidate Jordan Wood.
Seen the targeted, racist, and bigoted attacks on the Somali community specifically. To be clear, the Somali immigrant and refugee community has been a part of our community here in Lewiston particularly, but also
in Lewiston, Maine. Where's Cletus today? Cletus loves when I do that. In Lewiston, Maine. That's where he's from. He's the one that goes by Aurelia Coriolis, and I called him Cletus. He's on the TNAM softball team, by the way.
The greater Portland area for decades.
Yeah. If you hold people accountable for allegedly stealing millions from Medicaid program, accountable, then that's racist and bigoted. Or fraud is fraud, because accountability isn't racism. I don't know. Translation, we protect our imported voters at all costs. How did this guy benefit? Yeah. Ask that.
Particularly in the...
You look at the...
Oh, check this out. We were talking about God and storms in Texas. Check this one out.
You look at the time of day and there's...
What is this from? Bill Taylor, chief meteorologist at San Antonio. San Antonio again. Everything's coming up San Antonio. Except the NBA finals. Sorry about that. Bill Taylor, chief meteorologist, San Antonio's KENS 5, is covering the news, and this is how it goes.
There's just a lot of people that would be traveling in this area, traveling home for the evening, traveling to work. St. Hedwig, China Grove, right over Highway 87, right at 1604. Number of motorists here. So, Lord, I pray for protection. God, your sovereignty is what we lean into in moments like this. That drivers stay aware, stay alert, that you give them wisdom. Bless these drivers with wisdom. Keep them safe. Put angels around them of protection as they travel. Thank you, Lord. We're just going to get you home safely. This will be lasting for another 30 minutes at least, it looks like. And you look at the time.
You know, I saw that. I didn't watch it till now, and I'm like, I've busted some of that stuff out on this show a bunch of times. By the way, speaking of which, I don't think I mentioned, but multiple occasion guest of the show, my uncle, Pastor Bruce Engelman. You could use some of your prayers. He's going through something right now. We'll leave it at that. So there, in the spirit of this Texas meteorologist, dear Lord, Heavenly Father, watch over my Uncle Bruce and keep his medical team super informed, compassionate, caring, skilled, and yeah, help get him back to where we'd like him to be. Amen. And keep it simple today. That was pretty nice there. I like that.
You look at the time of day.
Did that make
Something I don't like, child abusers. Tim Waltz, he likes them.
Did that make us any safer?
Did it make you safer when you got rid of a child abuser?
Did that make the children that are left behind any more stable?
When you remove a predator?
Did it improve the idea that we can't all be judged by our worst day? And I want to be very clear, these are horrific crimes. They often are. Did that make us any safer? Did that make the children that are left behind any more stable? Did it improve the idea?
Uh-huh. Does removing a predator make us safer? Do you have a functional brain? Goodbye, illegal alien child abuser.
Did that make us any?
We'll be watching.
Deported. Yeah, this is why I was saying you need to find a way to get your parents and any boomer that's out there still watching CNN regularly. It's causing brain damage. It's really messing up people's heads. This is what CNN said about the president's speech to the nation.
We'll be watching tonight's presidential address and listening to what the president says tonight. But we're not going to take it live, as we've been discussing. That's because this president, sadly, has a history of misleading and in some cases simply false statements on what we've been talking about tonight, election security and integrity. Also, the White House earlier today said he would be showing newly classified documents. So we want to make sure that we have time to review those documents, talk to experts about them, contextualize whatever he says or shows before airing it. But if there is news, we will bring it to you ASAP.
I didn't know I did that. It just busted in with that lyric. Why the fuck you lying?
Why you always lying?
That's funny. Have you ever heard that song?
Oh my God. Stop you fucking lying.
We'll be watching.
That might be my favorite song clip that I've played or sang today. Yeah, here's your reminder. CNN and ABC and NBC aired this speech full of hate and lies.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism
No.
that threatens the very foundations
No.
of our republic.
Nope.
MAGA Republic.
Yeah, they're all paid by.
We'll be watching tonight.
Okay, Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum says a luxury Airbnb was left in ruins. Is this the same group that was in, what was that, In-N-Out Burger? I don't know. Set off fireworks throughout the home, causing extensive damage. Property's elderly Chinese owner was also assaulted after confronting the group. Authorities are investigating.
Bro, this shit wild, bro.
Okay. Bro, what are you talking about? Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Wow, did that make me feel some sort of way?
We're fuck you, bro. What did you want with us? What are you doing all this for? Guess my.
Wow. Let's see. Tag us with an update on this one. This is infuriating. We're going to leave it at that. So if you're thinking about doing an Airbnb, roll the dice. So what? You go to court and you get a ruling? You think these dipshits have $100,000 to reimburse you? You want to get smacked around in your own home? Buy some invaders like a Canadian overstaying her tourism visa? All right, check this out. This is wild. Fox 2 now. Placer County Sheriff's Office. Placer County? I don't know. What state is this in? Suspect is spotted hiding in a haystack. How did they find him? No sound. By drone. Look at this. If you watch the battlefield of Ukraine, you know that the next totalitarian government that hates patriots, they're going to find us in a haystack, folks. Prepare accordingly. Gotcha. Gotcha. Hands up. Come on down. Yep. Everything's going to be drones and robots, so prepare accordingly. That's a good law enforcement tool. Could also be abused easily, right? Oh, Danette, you're right. Anyone who protects a child abuser should also be held accountable. Yeah. Marion wants us to bring back. Can we bring back the mental institutions, please? Exactly. I love the Stevie Ray Vaughan. Well, it's floating down in Texas. All the telephone lines are down. As good as Stevie Ray Vaughan was on guitar, he's an excellent singer, too. Whew, I got some bootleg VHS of Kenny. I keep calling him Kenny, of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Man, if that rain isn't on me now, it's going to be getting close. I don't think I'm cutting the grass today. Although I am closing in on the end of the show. Final reminder, please hit like, please hit subscribe, share this show with a friend. Leave all the comments you can, all the jokes that you can. Consider signing up on Patreon or Rumble or YouTube. You can sign up for as little as $5 a month to become a monthly subscriber. You set it and forget it. And it's like they'll take their 20% fees and $3 and change comes over to us. And then we stack on the many people that are assisting us. And then we get to pay an internet bill with it, or we pay the electric bill, or we can pay for the $3,200 computer that we, it's like, it's helpful. It's useful. And we're trying to turn this into a thriving concern. We're trying to grow, and your support is helpful. You can do one-time Rumble rant tips, one-time Super Chat tips, or you can send something over on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. It's all scrolling at the bottom of the screen how to do so. But yeah, that's a very useful tool. Very interesting. They found a needle in a haystack. Oh no, that'll be my comment. Hey, look. They found a nitwit in a haystack. Benny Johnson says, whoop, hold on, which one? That's too long to read. Benny Johnson says China produced fake U.S. driver's licenses to manufacture tens of thousands of Biden mail-in votes in 2020. Now we know why they pushed to vote by mail and changed election law to allow mass mail-in ballots. Oh, and to make sure you mail ballots to every single person, says Benny Johnson. I ad-libbed a little bit of that. Paul White, Gold Eagle, says they're afraid Trump is going to release evidence of fraud in 2020 that Trump will use to declare a state of emergency and exercise executive power to secure the 26 midterms. They're terrified of whatever evidence Trump and his intelligence heads are about to present. There you go. I'm ready for that. This is where I used to live. Broke into the old apartment. Oh, they were a great live band. Bare Naked Ladies, they were great. Yeah, we got a lot of memories up there on the Sunset Strip. Huge sinkhole forms on the iconic Sunset Strip after a major water main break involving 100-year-old infrastructure. Also, cars were swept down the road, and a Metro bus yard was flooded out as well. Yeah, California, Los Angeles politicians spending our tax dollars on what? Yeah, let's build that ghost train to nowhere. Yikes, that's a lot of damage. Zoinks! Raggy? Wait, he is Raggy. No, that is Shaggy. Yeah, I covered this flooding, not just flooding down in Texas. Well, it's flooding down on Sunset. Ah. Got to go a little Hetfield at the end. Ja. All of the school buses are down. Anyway. Oh, geez. Did you see this one? Good grief. I don't know what happened. He hooked his mouth on a barbed wire or it's electric fence. I don't know what I'm even watching, but you know I like the videos where animals get saved.
Do mouth to mouth. There's no way. Do compressions. Oh no.
So what this shows me is that hunters care more about animals than activists, because like PETA, for instance, kills every single animal that they save. I don't think they've actually saved a single animal in their existence. But this hunter sees a deer in distress, obviously non-responsive, and he goes through all this to save that deer's life. So the next time you try to attack hunters, remember this video.
I'm not even sure how it got up there, what it was doing there. Was it being electrocuted or what? But man, bravo. Yeah, hunters love the animals. Yes, they may shoot, they may respect, but they respect the living animals that give them life. I looked this up real quick while he was talking. It says, yes, according to official Virginia state records per Grok, PETA euthanizes a very high percentage of the animals it takes in at its Norfolk shelter, far above typical shelter rates. PETA says they provide a peaceful release for suffering, critically ill, injured, elderly, or unadoptable animals that other shelters won't take. And they offer free, low-cost spay, neuter, cruelty response services. They argue overpopulation makes some euthanasia inevitable. Okay. Well, they saved that deer. And that's good enough for me. Kenneth coming in off the top rope with the super chat. $10. What actually, let me ask Grok. Jamie, look this up. Let's go dimes, quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins. At today's prices, Kenneth essentially threw in a silver quarter, $10.31 melt value. That's how much our currency has been devalued, people. Silver's at about 57 an ounce right now. Yeah, Kenneth grabbed a silver, like a Washington quarter and threw it in there. Pre-1964, $10 worth of silver, buddy. By the time YouTube takes their clip, it'll be like throwing 2 dimes in there, $4.12, like $8.24. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Because we have concluded today's program, I'm sliding you the tab for today's show. $0 and free cents, but I got to clock out. There's a tip jar at the bottom. Like I said, tip line. I told you how to follow that. YouTube, Rumble, Patreon, monthly subscriptions, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Super Chat, Rumble Rants. Thank you, everybody. All right. I appreciate the prayers for Uncle Bruce. I showed a lot of those, and I appreciate them on Rumble, on YouTube, and elsewhere. Well, fingers crossed. He's a man of God, real smart dude. But, all right. I hope you go out and have the best weekend ever and have a great rest of your Friday. For now, signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. Can somebody finish my thought? Someone type in chat what I'm about to say. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. Can anybody type it? What is my outro phrase? Am I that predictable? Or do y'all not pay attention? Do I need to speak louder? Do I need to repeat myself? So just allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Humpty. If you're typing it and it's on a delay, we're going to find out in a couple seconds. I'll do the outro. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace. End stream. It's never done that before. Just end stream. Oh, that's why. Because I normally press this.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.